boys. I appreciate it.
Who's doing the entry?
You are.
Oh.
And welcome to another Friday episode of Ripping the Rack podcast. We are the longest running Candlepin affiliated bowling, whatever you want to call it, podcast, but that's on Tuesdays.
That's Tuesday.
Yes.
This is Friday.
Friday.
And you know what the fuck goes on Friday?
Everything.
Anything we
goes
want.
on Friday.
Except for
Everything.
Tim's necrophilia jokes.
No. Those are obviously that goes. Necrophilia jokes are that's prime Friday material.
No.
For those of you who don't know me, I am one of your hosts. My name is Tim. With me today, I'm going to screw it all up today. He is up on top. He is on the right-hand side. He is a mile from me. His name is Coastal Crusader. He is Brian Ather. Brian, how you doing, buddy?
I am excellent, Tim. How are you doing? Tim's wonderful company he works for fixed my roof today, so it's a good day.
Yes. Let's see. Who do I want to go to? I'm going to go on the bottom. He is riding the bottom rail. Brian, stop crushing him. He is our asshole. Marky Pins, how you doing, buddy?
What's happening, boys? Always on the bottom, always underneath somebody else's opinion. But you know what? I'll take it because it's Friday, and I'm just happy to be here.
There we go. And he is not last. He is not least. He is the king of the North. Mr. Calvin Locke.
That doesn't make any sense. I am last. I'm the last one you announced.
Look, it's Friday. It doesn't have to make goddamn sense.
Okay, it doesn't make sense? Okay, Friday doesn't make sense.
You need a
No.
crown,
It's the
dude.
Chewbacca
Good.
defense.
You seriously need a crown, bro.
I need a what?
You need a crown.
I
You need
do.
a crown. You've been anointed the king
Yeah.
of all that is north.
I gotta get one. I'll go find one.
You do.
So before we move, so we are doing a top 10 list today.
Yes, we
Again.
are.
We are doing top 10 TV shows. These are top 10 of your TV shows that you as an individual have as your top 10. There are no pre-qualifications with this. It can be, a comedy. It can be a drama.
Well, it has to be a TV show.
It's got to be a TV show. That is the only qualification. But before we get into that,
Oh, no.
I do have to say this.
I know what's coming. Oh, no.
So one day a teacher was talking about marriage in class. She looks over at Johnny and says, "Johnny, what kind of wife would you like to have?" Johnny thinks about it for a second, says, "I really want a wife like the moon." Wow, Johnny, what a choice. Do you want to be beautiful and calm like the moon? Oh, hell no. I wanted to arrive at night and disappear in the morning.
That wasn't that bad.
That was not anywhere near where I thought that was going.
Yeah.
Night, disappear in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last one I have.
This one.
The last
Oh,
one.
here we go.
This
This
is
is the
not-
one that
hey,
gets
this
us
does
thrown
not
off
have-
of YouTube.
This does
This
not
is
have
the and
necrophilia.
then.
And this is not about any grandmothers or anything else.
Okay.
Jesus, I hope not.
Okay. Because I can't go with that one.
No.
So for those of you that don't know, I did pitch a joke that I wanted to discuss to Calvin and Brian before the show. Brian might have thrown up a little. Calvin laughed.
If he pitched it, we dismissed it as promptly as Vlad Guerrero dismissed that ball at the All-Star game the other
Yeah.
day.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'm glad I had a couple extra customers at the bowling alley that kept me on late because I missed this whole thing.
Yeah, I can't say that. I can't. Even I
You'll-
can't say this one.
All right, when we're
Yeah.
done recording, you'll have to give me that
Yeah,
so I
so-
can we can give that a lighthouse or two and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So anyway, so same teacher and little Johnny again. They're in
Oh.
class and teacher's like, "Tell me a story with a moral in it." Johnny's like, "All right." Chicken and a horse. They're out in the yard. They're fenced in. They're out in the yard and they run into some quicksand. And the horse gets in there and he can't get out and he's in the quicksand. He's starting to freak out a little bit. Chicken's running around going, "I can't help you. And horse like, "Go get the farmer, go get the farmer." So chicken runs back to the barn, looks for the farmer everywhere, can't find the farmer, jumps in the BMW though. Thank God there was a BMW here. Jumps in the BMW, drives it back to the horse, ties the horse to it, pulls him out, saves his life. Couple weeks later, the horse and the chicken. They're running around again. Chicken falls in. Now the chicken's in the quicksand. Chicken starts freaking out. Go get the farmer. Go get the farmer. Horse is like, wait a minute. I don't need to get the farmer. He stands over the horse. So the horse stands over the chicken, says, here, grab my penis. I'll pull you out. Chicken's like, okay. Reaches up, grabs this horse penis. He pulls him out. Teacher's looking at Johnny going, I don't quite understand what the moral of the story is here. Little Johnny looks up at the teacher and says, well, ma'am, the moral of the story is pretty simple. If you're built like a horse, then you don't need a BMW to pick up chicks.
That was a good waste of 3 minutes. Like, you could have just told a simple joke with 30 seconds. Like,
that was 2 jokes that, thank God, did not go anywhere near where I thought they were going to go. Bravo, Mr. Timothy.
At no point during your incoherent rambling did you make any sense whatsoever.
yeah.
Everyone is now stupider for listening to you. You were awarded 0 points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
0 points.
I'm sorry, but I like that moral. It's a good moral.
Oh my God! I mean, I was wondering where the BMW was coming into play, because that's an awfully specific vehicle choice. Usually on a farm, there's like a tractor or something like
It's
that.
not that
there was a
specific. I
Beamer.
mean, Tim has a BMW.
I do.
Well, moral of the story.
Big Mexican woman? I didn't know Angie was Mexican.
And neither did I, and I didn't know she was big.
Okay, so because that joke went over Tim's head. See what I did there?
No, I don't get it.
I was insinuating that you have a BMW because you are in fact not built like a horse.
Oh, really? That's not what Kelly said.
This is
Yeah.
Get him!
That's all right. At least he didn't make a your mom joke this time.
Oh God. I apologized. How many times have I apologized for that?
I know.
Okay then.
Okay, wait. I just got a little inspiration. Can we do a top 10 your mama jokes one of these days?
No.
Why not?
We can't. Why not?
Because it's too soon for Brian.
My mom. Well, we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about Brian's mom passed away a few years ago.
So
I understand.
your mama joke?
So the problem is, I've known Brian for a long time, and Brian and I have been able to say pretty much anything we damn well want to each other without repercussion.
Okay.
Okay, except for, I don't know, this was less than a week after his mom died, and he said something, and I was like, immediately, first thing that comes to my mind is, like, what was it, Brian? I forgot what I said now, but it was like, that's not what your mom said, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it was
entirely too fucking
No, I know. And the minute it came out of my mouth, the minute it came, I don't even minute. Like the second it came out, it was like, it came out, and it immediately went, oh, like, yeah.
That was not something the great Gim Dodaro would have said or should have ever said.
No.
I forgave him. I just like
He did. He did, because he knew I meant nothing by it and all that good stuff.
You are a dink.
I am.
You are a dink.
No, there's no doubt about that. I am. Before we move on, folks, please remember we do have episode 69 coming up here in 8
Speaking of Tim being
weeks.
a dink, good segue there.
Speaking of good segue. Yeah.
Thank
Oh
you,
shit!
thank
I had to
you.
get out of that real quick.
Thank you. Don't forget, we do have the roast of Gim Dodaro's much beloved brother, Tim Matero, coming up. And send your 30 to 60 second video in to rippingtherackpodcast@gmail.com. And frankly, if you have something that is really funny and you want to roast the other guys, feel free. Send us a 3-minute video. Send us a 5-minute video. As long as it's funny and classy. Classy does.
Right. You don't have to go in the toilet.
Even if it's not classy, we're still going to put it on.
Oh,
more than likely, yeah.
Of course we are.
As long as it's not just like alphabet soup coming out of your mouth, like a certain other host of panelist of a show, Marky and I know.
Fact, yes.
Yeah.
No. Some class, some tact, but go ahead and get us. It'll
But
be
have fun.
Mhm.
Have
It'll
a
be
good time
fun.
with it. Hit us with what you got. Just understand that when you hit us with what you got, we get to hit back,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
which is what I'm really waiting for is the end.
Yeah.
When I get my chance.
I'm just gonna hang
Sure.
up from the call at that point.
Yeah,
in time.
right.
We're all
Probably.
just gonna hang up.
We're
The three of us
Probably.
are just gonna hang up and leave Tim in the call by himself.
Whatever. Whatevs.
Yeah, we get
let's-
to the end and like, all right, that's the roast of Tim Matero. Thanks, everyone. Tim's like, but I didn't get a chance to. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, Easter Bunny. So, top 10
Oh goodness.
TV shows.
Let's
All right,
jump right
I'll start
in.
it off. Number
Let's-
10,
Who's-
Survivor.
Oh, well, so Calvin, why don't
Yeah.
you go first here, buddy?
That's what I'm doing. I took over. Number 10,
The
Survivor.
king has spoken.
Yeah, the king has spoken.
King has spoken. All right.
Yeah.
I as well have Survivor in my top 10. It is a little higher. Great show.
I
love-
have never once watched a full season of Survivor. I might have watched 3 episodes in my entire life.
So Angie has watched every episode, and she started right from the beginning.
Yes, I
she
have
likes,
to. Yeah.
and she likes reality TV shows and things like that. I resisted for as long as I could. I was like, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. It's stupid. I'm not watching it. God, it's reality. I don't want it. Blah blah blah. So I didn't get into it until about the 4th season in, which would be the 3rd season or the 2nd season, whatever it is, because there's 2 seasons per year.
They started out with 2 a year.
They still do 2. Well, they didn't last year, obviously.
Yeah,
but they still do 2 a year.
So we all played Survivor last year.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a couple of years later, and I started watching. I just sat down with her when I happened to be home for whatever reason, no bowling or something, and I watched, and I was like, oh, that really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And then I kept watching, and I was like, oh, I really like this show. So then I went back and watched like season 1, and then season 2, and so forth. So I have seen every season. Fun show.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you got? Number 10.
My number 10 is How I Met Your Mother. Really
That's in
enjoyed
my-
that show.
That's in my honorable mentions.
I look forward to watching it every week. I started it a little bit later. I think it was season 3, and it was just like on. And Kelly's like, "Oh, you should watch that." She was going out, and I just started watching a couple of the episodes that were in syndication. I'm like, "This is a good show." Neil Patrick Harris is funny. I really like Jason Segel as Marshall. Lily and Marshall are my 2 favorite characters in that show, and
Really? I find Neil Patrick Harris made that show.
oh, Barney's
Okay.
great. But I really just like the shenanigans that they all get in. It's like a politically correct It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So
Yeah.
Because
Neil
this is on
Patrick
my honorable
Harris.
mentions.
Neil Patrick Harris is actually in another show that was in my honorable mentions.
Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to,
Yeah.
man, I love that. I love
Man,
that.
I bet
show.
you used to watch that when you were a kid, elementary school.
No, Doogie Howser. That was mid '80s, I think.
Late 80s. It was
Late
late
80s?
80s. Yeah.
Oh.
Late
So
80s, early 90s. Yeah.
I graduated high school in '89, so
I was 4.
I was just being born.
God.
These
Kids.
guys don't remember the good shit. They don't
They
remember
don't?
the good shit.
No,
they don't.
I remember the Wonder Years, man.
I have all the good shit up here and all the
Again,
My mother
another show
forced
that
me to watch that fucking show when I was a kid, man. She would force me to sit down and watch it. I hated
Only
that shit.
because it was on right before The Next Generation, and I know that's what you were waiting for, Marky.
Well,
Star
a lot
Trek.
of times, yes. A lot of times. Yes.
Sorry, that's
You
the.
stand
I think.
up and walk out on me.
So that's. I love the song, but that is the beginning of the Wonder Years.
Mm-hmm.
Maki, what do you got? Number 10.
So number 10. So my list, I kick my list a lot more old school. Maybe I don't watch a lot of like
That's
TV.
okay.
I do
Yep.
the internet, a lot of YouTube and stuff. But I've always been like a game show junkie when it came to TV. Loved my game shows. We're gonna kick
Me
it
too.
real old school here, mid early 80s. Remember on MTV, there used to be a show called Remote Control.
Yeah.
That show was so
Huh.
cool. It was one of the first shows on MTV that wasn't. It was back when MTV, believe it or not, used to actually show music videos. Like they used to
Right.
actually,
So
there was
they came
music.
up with the name MTV, which was music television.
And for years, it really
No
was. I remember
way.
it was a thing, believe it or not.
Headbangers Ball.
Right? And one of the first shows that wasn't a music video on MTV was Remote Control. It was this game show. We were introduced to a popular comedian nowadays, this guy, Boston guy named Colin Quinn, who's on Saturday Night Live and who's done stand-up and been in all the grown-up movies and stuff with Sandler and those guys. And it was hilarious. You used to get a question wrong, they would dump popcorn on you, and you sat in this recliner. It was great. Look it up on YouTube. Find some old episodes of it. It's so cheesy, but you laugh your ass off, man. To be a kid that was like 9 years old back in the, oh my God, it was the funniest show. So I got that in my number 10.
Yeah, no, I remember the show very well. I told these guys beforehand, I really, it amazes me. That's good use of the English language.
Fantastical English.
Good,
fantastical
good
English.
speaking.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
It's amazing to me on just how much TV I've actually watched over the years, because I started doing a list and I was like, well, I'm going to do a list. It's probably going to be like 15 or 16, and then I'll just choose my top 10. And as I kept doing the list, I kept thinking of other shows and thinking of other shows and thinking of other, and I had a list of almost 40 long that
Jesus.
I watched.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. So I pretty much narrowed it down to 10 where I've watched, if not every episode, almost every episode. And number 10 for me is one that I haven't watched every episode, but it's been on for 20 plus years. It is one of the original animated shows, and it's The Simpsons.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
It's in my
I
honorable
stopped-
mention.
I stopped liking that probably like season 12.
I mean, I haven't watched it recently.
Yeah.
Just because I have other things that now, obviously, with the internet and, you know, the podcasts and YouTube and everything else, I tend to now go down rabbit holes on YouTube and forget that I have shows that I could watch. So,
Yeah.
I put it on there. I did vacillate between a couple of shows, and those will be in my honorable mention.
Yeah.
At the end.
I'm just tired of Maggie being a 30-year-old baby.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm just tired of it. Like you it's one of those, it's an animated show. You can make them older, and then the older people, like what was it, 5 or 6 years ago probably now, but the voice of, what was it, the voice of Mo or something died, like the woman who played the Mo or something, but she played like 8 characters, so they had to kill off all those characters. Well, you could have easily like made somebody grow up, and then somebody could have taken over that voice, and like, but no, you keep them the exact same people.
I just think it's
that's
cool
been
that,
like the meme of the show.
Yeah.
I think that at this point it's a cultural meme of the show that
Yeah.
Homer and Marge will never grow into old people. Bart and Lisa will always be like, 11 and 9 years old, and Maggie will always be like a 6-month-old baby.
in the opening is different every single opening.
Yes, the opening is different. That's good. I always
which
like
is
that.
cool to me.
Yeah.
So
The couch gag is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the couch gag, yeah.
Well,
Calvin, what do you-
there's a weird fan theory, and I'll just briefly mention it, that The Simpsons is actually a cyclical time loop. So it's Grandpa eventually is just Homer when he gets old, and Bart turns into Homer because he's just a screw up, but means well. And if you remember right in the early stuff, Marge was always like a big, like, women's rights person, smarty pants, like Lisa was, and eventually just settles because she can't find anybody her intellectual whatever. It's a cyclical time loop.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure Matt Groening is a time traveler.
Oh no,
anyway.
that motherfucker's
he's
time
a
traveler.
time travel. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
1,000%.
There's way too much shit that is on The Simpsons that it just makes too much sense.
You imagine if shit from Futurama starts coming true in 1,000 years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Calvin, what do you got number 9?
Number 9, I'm getting into my 90s shows. Full House.
It's a great
Everywhere
show.
you look.
You go everywhere there's
heart.
heart in the heart, and to hold on to.
It's you know
everywhere
what?
look.
It's
Hold on,
depressing to me.
I've got
because
an idea.
Uncle Jesse was supposed to be 24 in that show when it started, and I'm 36 now, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I'm old.
At some point, because we're doing top 10 TV shows, which encompasses obviously,
TV
dramas
show
and
themes.
TV show themes. I say we do top 10 sitcom
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like
at some
that.
point. Not right
I
now,
like
obviously, not right now.
The
Top
lost
10
art of the sitcom.
The
Yeah.
complete and utter lost art of the sitcom.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
everything now is multi-camera stuff.
Every
don't have that
no,
one.
everything now is crime. Everything now is crime
Yeah.
solving.
Crime,
Like, well,
reality,
South Park,
serial
which we'll
killers
talk
and
about
shit.
later, did a
No,
whole thing about like the murder porn like epidemic people had, where they just kept watching all these like Discovery, i.e. murder shows like before bed.
Melissa loves them. Like, she still watches them before she goes to bed now, and I fear for my life. Because they just teach you how to get rid of bodies and shit.
Yeah, how to kill people.
If
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
watches
and get
Lifetime
away
and
with it.
Discovery, if Mark goes missing, we know what happened.
Yes, please, come find me, please.
Who's next? Brian? Is that who did we let's
Sure.
we're gonna keep it in order instead of bouncing different. So
Okay.
Yeah, so I did. I was second. So my number 9 is an animated show, and it is Bob's Burgers. I've seen every episode of Bob's Burgers. I absolutely love the animation style. I love the characters. One of my favorite pop figures that I have is Beef Squatch. That's my favorite episode. And it's just, I think it's the humor is so dry and it's so funny. It reminds me a lot of if Married with Children and The Simpsons had a love child. And it is Bob's Burgers. And I love it.
all right. Maki.
All right, so number 9, I'm sticking with the game show theme, the all-time classic, everybody's, well, maybe not everybody's favorite, but Wheel of Fortune. I can just...
Colin, my son's favorite show. We've watched it every night before he goes to bed since he came home.
Yep.
He says, watch Vanna, watch Vanna.
I love
Nice.
Wheel of Fortune. I used to sit with my Nana, my mom's mom, when I was a kid, and we would watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy every single night. I still, to this day, if I have nothing to do and I'm chilling at the bowling alley and there's nobody here between 7 and 8, I put on Wheel of Fortune and I put on Jeopardy.
And you start guessing puzzles and answering Jeopardy questions.
All the time. I'm much
All the
better at
time.
Jeopardy than I am Wheel of Fortune, but I could watch Wheel of Fortune all day.
Cool.
Tim,
Actually,
what's your 9,
yeah.
Tim?
My 9 is a one that actually is still in play.
Well, so is The Simpsons.
I know. The Walking Dead.
Oh God, I have not watched a single episode, and I never will.
So here's
Fell
what I'm
out
gonna,
of love with it around
Here's-
season 6.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I was extremely late to this game. Like it was into season 8 or 9 before I was like, fine, I'll watch it. Because people kept bugging me over and over. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. And so I was told you really got to watch 2 to 3 episodes. You got to get into that second, third episode. So I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't know. Because I'm not a zombie guy. Like, I don't watch zombie movies. It's not my thing.
Right.
But once I got into the second episode and then the third episode, the next thing I know, it was 3:00 in the morning and I was on episode 7. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, this show is legit. It's real. Like, this is, and I got really vested. Bless you, buddy. You didn't hear me.
Excuse me.
Bless you. I get really vested in the characters. And everything else. It's, to me, it jumped the shark a little bit. Like, I haven't watched season 10. I'm waiting for it to come out so I can just binge it and watch it all, and then I'll catch up for when they start season 11, because I'm pretty sure this is the last season coming up.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's my number 9. Calvin, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Did I Do That?
Family Matters. Love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Family Matters.
Good show.
Original
Yeah.
TGIF.
Yeah.
Original
Oh, yeah.
TGIF.
Yeah. Original
Mhm.
TGIF. Most of my top 10 is TGIF. So.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny is so I remember the show. I watched the show. It's in my it's in my list of
40.
my list of 40 that came up, but it was for me it wasn't Urkel. I always watched it because of Carl Winslow,
Winslow.
I mean.
Winslow,
Right,
yeah.
but he was his actual name is Carl Winters, isn't it?
I thought
He's
it
the
was.
No.
cop from Die Hard.
No,
It's
no,
called
no.
Die Hard.
It's not
Yeah.
Carl Winters. No. He's
Oh.
he's got a big long name.
Well,
I'm
he's
gonna
the
go
cop
with
from Die Hard.
Reginald.
Yes, Reginald
Reg-
Val Johnson or something.
Yes.
Oh,
Reginald
yes,
Del
yes,
Johnson.
yes, yes.
Del
Yes.
Johnson.
Yeah, Val
Reginald
Johnson.
Bell Johnson. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I started watching because of him because I knew him from I just instantly remembered him from Die Hard.
Yeah.
Pal,
So-
what's up, pal?
One of the funniest quotes I think I've ever heard on a TV show was on Family Matters. Carl tried that Harriet, I have spoken thing that he used to say all the time.
Yeah.
And she looked at him and said, listen, just because you lose hair on your head and grow it out of your ears does not mean you can tell me what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That was funny shit.
That's a good show.
It was a
It is.
great show. It really was.
That really was a good show.
Yeah. They did their reunion like they did like the Friends reunion and the Fresh Prince reunion and stuff like that. Well, they did theirs a few years ago, and I watched it and just them
I missed
talking
that. I
about-
didn't even know they did that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'll have to try
it
to
was-
find that.
It was a few years ago, and they just did a little kind of reunion, and everybody got together, and they actually said, I mean, granted, this is what everybody says when you're doing a reunion, but they said if they slapped a script on us now to do a sequel, like to do everything after, we'd do it.
It'd be cool if
So-
they did one more show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be actually.
One last show just to explain where everybody went and everything that happened.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
it a Thanksgiving special. Everybody comes home.
Yeah,
Instead,
right.
Now Steve Urkel's selling weed with Snoop Dogg. They have their own
Yeah.
cannabis
I
line.
know.
Purple Urkel.
Purple Urkel.
Purple Urkel.
The Purple
Get my
Urkel.
hands on some of that. Try to
Yeah.
get some.
Yeah.
Walk around.
Marky,
Get I do that.
Brian, what do you got? Number 8.
So my number 8 it's a more recent show. It just ended a couple of years ago, and it is The Good Place with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
That was a good
And
show.
I absolutely love that show. It's a show about the afterlife, and the best part of it is that not once do they mention the words heaven, hell, or God in the whole
Yeah.
show.
Right. It's the good place and the bad place.
That
Yeah.
place, and it's the twists and the stories within a story within a story, and the timelines are, they believe it or not, they're easy to follow. And
Yeah.
Kristen Bell is hilarious.
Oh, I love Kristen
And
Bell.
she's so good. And Jamil is in that as well, and she's really funny. And just the whole show is so well done.
The greatest thing I've ever seen, and I'm sure some of you have seen it if you're even fans of Kristen Bell, but the Ellen when she does the taste testing, and Kristen Bell and Dax do it together. That the two of you I can see haven't seen it because you're not nodding along like Brian is, but you have to watch it. It is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. You have to go on YouTube it. Ellen DeGeneres, Dax, and Kristen do taste test, whatever you want, however you YouTube it. The funniest thing I have seen in a long time. They yell at each other. They're just it's hilarious.
And Ted Danson in The Good Place.
Yes,
so
Ted Danson's
He's
good too.
so awesome.
Ted Danson's a good actor anyway.
He is.
He is. Marky, what do you got? Number 8.
So number 8, we're going to keep it old school and we're going to keep the game show thing going. I have Legends of the Hidden Temple. The old game show that used to be on Nickelodeon.
Wow.
Was a game show I wanted to get on so badly.
Who did you want to be?
Huh?
What team? What team did you want to be?
Any team except the Purple Parrots. Because the Purple
I want to
Parrots
be a
never
Blue Barracuda.
won. Either the Blue Barracuda or the Red Jaguars. One or the other. But anybody except the Purple Parrots. We were in Orlando and they were having tryouts. And I didn't make it on. I was too heavy of a kid back in the day. And I didn't even get a chance to try out. They were picking kids in line, and I didn't even get picked. But that was one of my favorite game shows ever. I would watch it every single day. It was on at 4:30 when I get home from school, and I would do my homework quick just so I could watch the damn show. I still watch it today every once in a while. I'll just turn it back on and be like 13 years old again.
Yeah.
Love it. Told you I'm an old school dork. I really am.
No, that's cool.
No, hey, I used to watch it every day too.
Love it. And it's going to get even worse as we keep going up this list. I promise.
Listen, if there's one on there, if there's one not on there, I'll probably yell at you. So we'll let you go with your list. But if there's not one on there, I'll be like, Mark, seriously?
So
you're going to yell at me, I promise you.
My number 8 has arguably the song everybody knows. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on a playground is where I spent most of my days.
That's my next one.
I have a fresh
relaxing all cool, all
shoot some b-ball outside of the school with a couple of guys.
They were up to no
good.
Started making trouble
in my neighborhood. I
got
one little fight,
and Mom got scared. She said, "You moved with your auntie and your
uncle in Bel Air."
It's all out of like saying.
I know it is terrible.
Well,
I never. You know what? I'm so impressed, guys. I am so impressed. I didn't think anybody could replicate the sound of a cat getting run over by a lawnmower.
You said that last week. You got to come up with a new joke. Yeah, you got to come up with a new joke. Yeah. Come on.
For
Tim.
Now we award you 0 points. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, yeah? Hey, you want me to make you laugh? Diarrhea.
Didn't make me laugh.
Diarrhea. Cha-cha-cha. Diarrhea. Cha-cha-cha.
So, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That is, again, one of the shows that I can still to this day, if it's on, it's a remote drop for me. Meaning, if it's on, the remote goes to it. I drop the remote and I watch the show. That is, to me, that is where Will Smith became truly Will Smith.
Oh, 100%.
Agreed.
And, and that whole Alfonso Ribeiro and
the whole
all of it.
Was awesome.
Oh my God, it was, and it took on some pretty heady stuff at the time.
Yeah.
It did.
Like
it did.
The sleeping pill or the sleeping pills or whatever, the studying pills. Yeah.
Yeah. It took on speed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Took on speed. You took on racial. You had your racial overtones.
Yeah.
When Carlton and Will got basically thrown in jail and. Here comes Uncle Phil just dropping the hammer on the. It's still, if you listen, you can hear the fact that he was legit angry when he did that.
Yeah, and we'll keep talking about it because that's my number 7. So we'll keep leading it.
All right,
that's
so
my number 7.
What do you have for number 7?
Well. It's the show that has the one song that everybody knows. No, and it probably has it's tough because I'm maybe a little biased, but it probably has the greatest moment in sitcom history.
Hold on.
You know exactly where I'm going.
Is that when his father?
Yeah. And they did a little chat, or Uncle Phil did Will did a little interview with somebody later on down the road, and he says when they're hugging, because he was afraid to do it. He didn't want to do it because his father actually left him. That's what he said. His father in real life actually left him. So he didn't want to do it. And he said that Uncle Phil looked at him. I always call him Uncle Phil because I don't like his real name, but Uncle Phil, he looked at him. He said, "Man, all I want you to do is act. I just want you to act. I want you to take everything that you have gone through in your life and just act." And he said, when he grabbed me and he hugged, he said, "And that's fucking acting right there." And oh man, it's honestly, I don't think you can replicate that moment.
So
ever.
When they did the reunion show, when they did the reunion special, and they did the part for Uncle Phil. Of course, he had recently passed. Well, not recently. He had passed away a couple of years before that, I guess. I thought it was closer to that, but I guess it was a year or two.
Yeah.
Now I'm a cry. Brian knows I'm a crier.
I cried. I still cry.
I still cry, and that is the one part on that show that will get me every single time, no matter how many times I see it. Now, my father didn't leave me. I mean, my parents got divorced when I was 8, but I still saw my father on the regular.
Yeah.
You know, I still have a relationship with my dad. I'm turning 50, so it's still yes, it gets you right in the feels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Another cool thing about Fresh Prince, they used to break the fourth wall all the time. When
Yeah.
like Will would look into the camera, do like an eyebrow or something, or say something to the camera, and no other show did that.
Yeah.
No.
That was so cool. I
Yeah,
guess a lot of that was like ad lib that they just kept in because it was funny shit. A lot of
when Jazzy Jeff was on there, he got thrown out every time. He would always look at the camera like it was, you know. Brian, what do you got? Number 8.
Number 7.
Number 7. I'm sorry.
7. My 7 is another animated show, and it's Family Guy. And I really like Family Guy. It is a product of when it got like re-renewed and it came back out because of the DVDs. That's when I started college. So that's what we all did. We just sat around and watched Family Guy and did stupid shit. Essentially, we smoked pot and drank and watched Family Guy. And I probably have seen every episode of Family Guy at least 3 times. Mm-hmm. That was the thing. Like we would just, what's on? Oh, go to TBS. Family Guy's on, and we would just watch the TBS reruns all the time. It's just a great show, and it's funny, and it's just comfort food TV. You can just put it on and do anything.
Yeah. That's a good way to put that. I like that comfort food TV. Yeah. So my number 7 is another dorky 90s show, but still close to my heart. I still watch reruns of it, and I follow some YouTube channels. It was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh.
When that come around, man, that changed everything.
Oh,
that
where do I start?
I have their movies on DVD.
Do you want to see my Dragon Zord?
Yeah.
You have Dragon Zord? That was my favorite. Green Ranger was the man.
Yeah.
I was the Green Ranger 3 different years for Halloween.
I had the dagger.
You had the Dragon Dagger. Yeah. I still follow YouTube channels that go in and do like deep dives and lore uncoverings and things. I love that show, man.
Yeah.
I went to the movies. I saw the movie the night it premiered. Like, that's some dorky shit, but
did you see what'd you think of the new one?
Terrible.
No, it wasn't.
It had the spirit of it, but it didn't.
Right.
It didn't connect with me enough. Oh my God, there it is. You got the pop.
Nice.
Man.
This actually works.
No way.
My God. I could never find it. I never got Dragon.
Oh, no way.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, that still works.
Oh my God, man. That should be encased in glass and
you're damn straight it should.
So I found it at a consignment shop, Sweet Peas, Tim, in Rockland.
Oh, yeah.
$6.95.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Those things were like $100 back in the day, and you could never find them at Christmas. And oh my God. But yeah, I could just sit like you, Tim. You called it a remote drop. If that's ever being shown, and I find it on like an old, the Nickelodeon, like if I find that, I sit and I watch it. I don't care what I'm doing. I drop.
I think they're still on Netflix.
Watch them?
It is. Oh, is that the whole box set?
Oh, Brian. Oh, Brian, when you guys
dirty to me, buddy.
when you guys come across
I'll get the comics out. I got the whole comics too.
When you come across the border, we're spending the whole weekend. We're getting real high. We're gonna have 8 bags of chips, and we're gonna watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers until our ears bleed.
Please, yes,
I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh,
one of
that's
my
awesome.
favorites, though. One of my favorites in my life.
Yeah.
My number 7 was how do I word this? One of the best shows of all time, and it would be higher except for the last season. I want to punt it right out the Game
You're
of Thrones.
about to say Sopranos.
No.
Oh no, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Never seen a single episode.
Oh my God.
Much higher on my list.
Again, one of those shows that, and Brian will tell you, I didn't watch for years. Matter of fact, it was over before I watched the first episode. And everybody told me, "Oh, you're gonna watch it? Yeah, I'll watch it." Again, give it 2 or 3 shows.
Time to take over Earth.
What the hell is that?
That's the intro.
Oh
Um,
God.
Ah,
Oh, there it is.
Is it on
Okay,
Netflix?
okay.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
It's not. It's not on Netflix in the States.
Oh,
No, because I have not been able to find it like that. Like I have to go back and
Yeah.
find like old bootlegs on YouTube and stuff of people who've like held their phone up to their TV. Oh my God.
You can get that box set. I got Marky right on Amazon.
I gotta get it. I gotta get it.
I know. I'm so
Sorry,
horny
Tim. Go ahead
now.
with Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You got a bunch of kids fanboying about the
I
power.
know.
Yeah. So Game of Thrones, to me, was again one of those ones where if you get past the first 2 episodes, you are sucked into it, and
Oh,
you
the
will
first episode's
binge it.
so good though.
Well,
Again,
no,
something
it
I haven't
is.
watched ever.
The
No,
first
me neither.
episode was fantastic, but if you've never watched it, it's really bizarre.
Oh,
And that's what I mean. You've got to watch 2 or 3 episodes to really understand what that show is about. And then it's a complete binge series. Like,
Mhm.
absolutely great writing, great acting, and just the shittiest ending in the history of endings.
nope. No,
No?
we'll get there. Don't worry. We'll
Okay.
get to the shittiest ending in all of endings.
All
No,
right.
you're wrong, Brian. You're still wrong about it.
All right. Calvin, number 6.
My number 6, and it's almost like Fresh Prince. It's one thing that you could do, one noise, and you know exactly what show it is.
Friends.
No, that is.
Home Improvement.
Improvement.
Yeah.
Home
right
Improvement.
there. Home Improvement.
Hey everybody,
See-
it's tool time.
There's
Tim
a
the
show
Tool
I
Man
completely forgot
Taylor.
about, and I could add that to my list.
I have the whole box set in a tool set.
That's
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it's in a toolbox. So it's one of my favorite shows. I love Tim Allen. Probably one of my favorite actors of all time.
I agree with that. Wholehearted.
He's-
His stand-up is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's written a few
so
books.
funny.
They're hilarious. He wrote a book called "Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man," and it was one of the funniest books I've ever read. If you ever get a chance to find this book, read it. You will laugh your ass. It starts out. The first line says, "I'm a dick." That's right. My last name is Dick. His real name is Tim Dick, but the first sentence of the
Yeah.
book is, "I'm a dick."
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 6.
My
Good
number
show.
six,
Good show.
Great show.
I kept it animated, and of course he's leaving because it's got some Canadian influence. Is South Park. I love South Park.
seriously.
Cartman was everything.
in my ass.
Cartman was everything that my 12-year-old chubby picked on ass wanted to say to everybody in the world. I thought it was great because I wasn't supposed to watch it, but I did, and that's so cool.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it really came in a real toolbox itself.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
it legit came in a toolbox, and there was even when you open it up, and there's a little Binford,
That's cool.
Yeah,
measuring tape, and then it's got
That's
all the
awesome.
DVDs in there.
that's funny.
I
yeah,
have a
that's
set
awesome.
of
It's the best.
the Ninja Turtle cartoon set from the late 80s, early 90s, and it comes in the Turtle van, and all the DVDs are in
That's
the
so
van.
cool. That's so
Man.
cool.
That's in a glass case.
Yeah.
So-
But the Dragon
So-
Sword isn't? What?
yeah, right.
So anyway, South Park, Brian.
Yeah, no, South
Uh,
Park. I just love how it's always fresh, and they just don't care. Like 2 years ago, they went on let's see if we can get canceled. Every episode
Yeah.
ended with hashtag cancel South Park.
Yeah.
The member berries. I love the member berries. Remember?
Blame
And just
Canada.
the early stuff. Oh, season 10 has 2 of my favorite episodes in it. Make Love Not Warcraft, where they play World of Warcraft. And the other one is Die Hippie Die, where Cartman busts up the hippie jam band festival with the big drill. And he's got them all in the beginning, all trapped in his basement.
I mean,
Ugh.
just the episode of the dude that has the balls that gets so big that he's got to carry him around with a
That was-
wheelbarrow.
That's medicinal fried chicken, is the name of that episode, and it's it was when they tried to get all the fast food places out of
That
Colorado.
was such a good
So-
episode.
It was,
So they got rid of all the KFCs, but they replaced all the KFCs with pot stores. But everyone was all the guys were giving themselves testicular cancer. So they made the correlation that because KFC left, everybody was getting cancer.
Oh my god.
But just the way they stay relevant after they've been around almost, oh god, it's going on
been-
25 years.
it has been because
Just
Jordan was
long as,
a baby.
Yeah.
They have absolutely gone off on everything that has been culturally relevant for the last, 20, 25 years, however long South Park's been on.
Oh yeah.
20 years. Anything that's happened in culture. it
Almost
has
as
been
long as
South
Family
Park.
Guy. They've been on
Yep.
almost the same amount of time.
Marky, what do you got?
So number 6, I'm gonna go animated right here. Oh, pussy on the screen. How you doing?
Well,
There you go.
don't show us butthole. We'll get booted off.
Weird. Look
Number
at my
6. I did it. I knew he was gonna do it. On the same lines of South Park, kind of where the ideas for South Park came from. I have Beavis and Butthead at number 6.
Yeah.
That
Nice.
changed a man's life when that show came on, man. You couldn't watch it, you got in trouble. We had to sneak watch it. You couldn't walk around in school going, because we'd get screamed and yelled at.
Like,
Knowing they
kitty
got-
caca.
Like, Titicaca, I need tipi for the bunghole.
Big
We
tippy
used
for
to
my
walk
bunghole.
around school like Cornholio with the shirt up,
Yeah.
walking
Oh,
down the
yeah.
hallway and
Yeah.
shit. Forever
That-
getting detention and screamed at.
That show basically changed animated shows. Like
It
that was
legitimately gave
Yeah.
the reins to go more away from like child fun stuff.
It turned
At least
The
in America,
Simpsons
anyway.
into South Park.
yeah, essentially.
Basically,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. With everywhere they went with the fire and everything
Mhm.
else. And then they
So-
got thrown off the air because some kid
Frog
lit
baseball.
a fire in his house. Frog baseball.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just so you know, we're at 48 minutes here, and
I
we're
know.
only on number 6. So we are gonna speed this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
all right.
okay.
So
Yeah,
number
just talk
6 was
real
Beavis
quick.
and Butthead. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah.
Number 6.
My number 6, I'm kicking it old school with my first police show, NYPD Blue.
Oh, I thought you were
Gotta
going to
go back
Rescue
and watch
911. I thought you were going to go old school Will Shatner Rescue 911.
Well, I could have gone old school with Chips or with
Aren't you more of a Dragnet or Adam 12 guy?
no, Adam. That was a little before my time. That was in the
Oh,
50s
okay.
and 60s. Chips is really what I first started watching, but NYPD Blue is fantastic. That's my number 6.
My
Calvin.
number 5 is a quick talk, Big Brother. It's one of those shows where I go on every week, and if I watch it with people, they have to be quiet while I'm watching it because I hate when people talk during it. So
Yeah.
that was a quick one.
Brian.
My number 5 is The Big Bang Theory.
That's further up. On my list.
It's a great show.
It's a little further up on mine.
Yeah.
It's comfort food TV. It makes me happy to
Yeah.
watch it. I love every
Absolutely.
character for something different, and it's just
Ah,
Angie and I watch it every night at 7:00 and 7:30. Still.
Yeah.
Still.
oh yeah.
well, that's Wheel and Jeopardy time, so I can't do that. But
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching it right now, and I'm on season 3.
I am too. I'm halfway through too, Calvin. We're almost in the same spot. I have HBO Max, so
My favorite episode of Big Bang Theory is when they are watching the stars and they go get the cookies and they
And
get
they get
high.
high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name. I hate my name. It's got nerd in it.
Yeah.
I want to change my name to Angelo. It's got Angie and Jello in it. Then my friends can come up and they can say, "Hey Angie, how's it going?"
No, that's
so funny.
it's a great show.
Oh God.
Maki, what do you got number
All right.
number 5?
Number 5 is kind of the last of my old school game show things from Nickelodeon times. As you can tell, there's been a theme developing
Nick
here.
Arcade.
No, great show though. Before
Oh.
that, Double Dare. Mark
Mm.
Summers, the original kids game show on Nickelodeon. One of the best shows. It gave a kid hope that he could be on the show and double dare somebody. And I always wanted to run that damn obstacle course, but never got on it.
There's a
Love
really
that show.
cool documentary on Hulu called The Orange Box Years, and it's all about those years of Nickelodeon. Our years, Mark, when we were like little. Like
Yes.
it talks about Double Dare, and it talks about everything leading up. It kind of ends with Snick.
So it's
That's
like
where it
87
ends.
to like 94, kind of sort
Yeah.
of like those 7-8 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my child formative years, and all I did was waste it watching Nickelodeon.
Makes
I got
sense.
this little dude right here.
It answers
From
a
my
few
days of
questions if
Nickelodeon.
anybody
Ren
has.
and
Oh, Ren and
Stimpy.
Stimpy. The old ones were
Stimpy's
great.
my
When they
boy.
brought it back on Spike TV, it was the worst show that ever happened on Spike TV.
I have all the old ones on DVD.
That was so bad. All it was
So-
a bunch of dick jokes, and I'm the pitcher and you're the catcher, and it was terrible.
Yeah. So my number 5 has already been mentioned by Calvin. I've got Survivor at number 5.
Nice.
So we don't need to talk about that one.
My
Calvin, number 4.
My number 4 is the show of the 90s, and that would be Friends.
Dun, 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 dun.
The show
I love
that
show. I
every-
never watched it.
what?
I did not watch Friends.
Marky.
I never watched Friends.
I watched it. It's on my honorable mention.
You can't not watch an episode without laughing. It's just so funny. Every show, every episode. It's like Big Bang Theory, but not as good.
But yet you haven't. Oh no, I bet you have.
No,
Big
I
Bang
haven't got
Higher.
to
Yeah.
Big Bang Theory yet.
Brian.
My number 4 is kind of on the similar lines of that, and it's Scrubs. Scrubs is one of my honestly, it might be my favorite comedy show of all time. The whole cast is great. It's honestly one of the most realistic hospital shows out there because there's some sad parts, but there's some normal weird parts too. And I think it is narrated well, it is shot well, and it is just, I can watch every episode anytime. It's a remote dropper, as Tim said.
Yep. Mikey.
My number 4 is probably the only sitcom on my entire list. I think it was Brian, you mentioned it a little while ago, is Married with Children. There's very little that you have to say about Married with Children. It depicts the man who is just fed up with life, made too many bad decisions, and is just trying to have dinner. And his wife will just never cook him dinner, and he just never eats. And it's just one of the funniest shows in the history of television. Just watch any episode from
And they
any
could
season.
never make it today.
And
Nope.
all I can.
Oh
and
God,
all
no!
I
That
can
show would never fly. It's another one of those. Would
And
never
all I
fly
can
today.
think about now is Brian Fuller Jr.
Oh, we
Is,
give him all the
Al
time.
Bundy.
He's bowling on my Friday night team this year. If he thinks that his name isn't going on the sheet as Al or Bundy every week, he's sorely mistaken. Because that's happening.
You
That
gotta
is
do the
absolutely happening.
you gotta do the build from, and he has to be from Polk High.
Yeah.
Sold 4 pair of shoes in one day.
Oh, my number 4 we've already discussed. I got The Big Bang Theory as my number 4 episode. My number 4 TV show of all time. It's phenomenal. It's just
it is.
I don't know as if there's a bad episode.
I'll
No.
probably watch a couple episodes before bed tonight.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. I'll probably put it in.
I just don't. Oh, the show. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I already put it
Saw
in.
what you did
earlier,
there.
so
Jeez,
all
good for you.
Attaboy.
All right, top 3. What do you
But,
got there? What do you got, Cal?
Number 3 is probably a show that none of you have heard of. Oh, you know, you maybe it is on American Netflix, and that's Supernatural.
Yeah.
Oh
I've
yeah,
heard of that.
no.
I've
Oh,
heard of that.
definitely heard of it. Yeah.
That was on WB down here for a while.
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's
No.
good.
Their 15th season got cut short because of COVID, and they finished it up just after basically like mid this year. I think it was the end of March, and they just finished up their 15th and last season. So I have every series or every season. So yeah, one of my favorite shows.
My number 3 is Sons of Anarchy. One of my
That was my
favorite.
mother's
obviously.
favorite show. She
Oh my
loved that
God.
show.
I was late to the party. I didn't start watching it till like the last season had just started, and I was like, all right, what's this about? And I caught up and I watched the finale live. Yeah, I binged the whole thing, and it was so good, and I enjoyed it so much. I was watching it, and Kelly sat down. She's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Sons of Anarchy." She's like, "What's it about?" I'm like, "Just watch." And so then she got addicted to it.
Yeah.
So it yeah, I mean it's basically Hamlet on motorcycles, but it's really good.
No, good.
It's a
It
good
is.
description of it. Actually, that's a very good description of it.
It's on
Yeah.
my list. I haven't watched an episode yet, but
Oh, so good.
plan to binge it eventually.
The Ireland season, when they go to Ireland, is very dry.
See, that's the problem. Is I am at that point of the show, and I stopped watching it, and everybody's told me how dry it is, and I just struggled to try to pick it back up.
Just start
again.
the next season and watch the first 10 minutes. It summarizes the whole season for you.
Fair enough.
Honestly, you can skip the
Solid.
Ireland season.
Marky, what do you got? Number 3.
My number 3 is my favorite game show of all time that has ever been on television, and it is the other half of the 7 to 8 o'clock block. It is Jeopardy. I could watch Jeopardy over and over again. I play along. I keep score a lot of times with the dollar value of the questions, and I would have won several episodes that I've sat at home and watched along and played. I love that show. Rest in peace, Mr. Trebek.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since Trebek stopped doing it.
It's been tough to watch since. There's been some decent guest hosts, not bad.
Amy Farrah Fowler's excellent.
Yes, I've seen that on there.
It's still, I love that show. It's always been my favorite game show.
Yep.
George Stephanopoulos was not good tonight. I did not enjoy George.
My number 3, I am my last 3 are shows that started either in the 70s or the 80s, and this one
I
was.
bet I can guess all 3 of them.
Let's do that. All right, Brian.
All right, number 3. What do you think my number
1.
3 is?
3-1. Go.
3-1.
Well, I don't know the order, but Cheers, MASH, and
Three's Company.
All in the Family?
No. So my number 3 is Cheers.
He was right.
He was right on that.
That was the first one. He
My
said.
number 3 is Cheers. It is the first real, as I got old enough to quite understand adult humor. I enjoyed All in the Family. I enjoyed Three's Company. I enjoyed all that stuff. But I was young for all those. Like I was 12. I was 11, things like that. Cheers, I was like 14, 15, 16. This was my...
you can stop picking up on the subliminal humor. And
it was set in Boston. Sam Mayday
And it
Malone.
holds up today.
It does.
That's why I like watching old TV shows. I'm like, I understand that now.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson really. This is where he became a big enough star.
Rhea Perlman.
Norm. Ted Danson.
Norm.
Great show. Calvin, number 2.
My number 2, we've already talked about 3 times. Big Bang Theory. So we're good.
Right. We're good. Brian,
my number 2, Tim had mentioned earlier, it is Game of Thrones. It's amazing. It is not the worst ending ever. We'll get there in a minute. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's still wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Maki.
My number 2 is I know it's Friday and we're not supposed to talk bowling, but tough shit. It is the old
Channel 5.
the Channel 5 bowling show. Life stopped when that show came on in the house. Everybody stopped what they were doing, and we all watched the bowling years and years and years and years and years in a row. I can't have a top 10 TV list and not have that in there. Yeah. Not my favorite show of all time, but my second.
So, as a sidebar, I did find out we were told Channel 5 was shown in Maine.
Oh.
But it was only shown in the southern part of the state.
So it was shown in northern Massachusetts.
It was shown in northern Massachusetts.
Anything south of Freeport is northern Massachusetts.
Steve Guzzi was nice enough to tell me that they used to watch it down because he lived in the Scarborough area.
I still can't believe that never made it through all of the New England ABC affiliates. I can't believe
we didn't get Nesson in Rockland until I was probably 12.
Well, Nesson was a pay channel. Like you had to pay to
Yeah.
add that
No.
on. So like,
No.
oh yeah,
Not
for
up
a
here.
long time.
It
until-
was, yeah, in Rockland.
Was it?
It
until
was,
the mid '90s
yeah.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
pay
ever.
channel.
Even-
I don't ever remember paying for. I had my own TV because I lived by myself.
You probably stole the cable from one of your buddies. You have him hook up that box.
Even
don't
living
know.
in Boston, even living where I lived in a city called Somerville, where you could throw a rock and hit downtown. It still was a major network add-on. We didn't even get it for free.
Okay.
We got
The ass backwards
Sports Channel for free, which was like its younger
Oh, I
bastard
remember
brother. Remember Sports Channel?
Channel was like, yeah, that's the Celtics were on there
The
for a
Celtics
while.
were on there, but the Sox and the
Yeah.
Bruins were always on Nesson. Well, actually, no,
Right.
the Sox. No,
They were on.
TV
They were on
38.
They were on
They were on
WSBK
38.
TV channel
That's right.
38.
But like playoff games and big things were on Nesson that you had to pay for it. We never had it.
And
until
you know
they
what
made
the
it a
ass
free channel.
backwards thing in Rockland was? We got WGN from Chicago included
Yes.
with our cable, but we didn't get Nesson.
Yeah.
So I can watch all the Cubs games.
And
Right.
we got TBS, which was
Oh yeah,
included.
from Atlanta.
So from Atlanta, so we had all of the Braves games and we had all of the Cubs games, but you had to pay for the Red Sox games.
So dumb.
Yep.
My number 2, Brian did not get, and I'm very disappointed. This is my favorite drama show. This is my favorite hospital show. This is my favorite,
Oh,
my second
yeah.
favorite
Okay.
show of all time. ER. I have seen every single episode multiple times.
That's not from the 70s or 80s, though.
That's
That's
from the 80s.
that
it
is not from
started-
the 80s.
No.
It started in
no.
the 80s.
No, it didn't.
No.
It
was
most
90s.
certainly did. 89, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
No, that's
Really?
90s.
ER
That's-
94.
Yeah,
thank
wicked.
you.
Whatever.
Wicked.
I still
Wait.
watched every episode.
When the
That's
lockdowns
okay.
first started, we were at the house. Melissa had to stop working from home. She literally binged we watched her for like days
It
and
is-
days
Err.
and days. We
It
started
is-
yelling at the kids, hey, don't mess up or you're going to fall. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to have to go see Man. Don't go
It
see
is-
Man.
It is one of the most. One of the episodes where I have cried literally from the beginning to end is when Anthony Edwards dies.
When Mark died. Yeah, of the
Mark
brain
Green
cancer.
dies.
Dr. Green.
Yep.
Dr. Green dies from brain cancer. That was it. That was such a great show. Noah Wiley, that's when he became
Mhm.
When
big.
he left, I can remember when Dr. Green died and when he left, and then when Clooney left. Those are the 3 big episodes I
Yep.
remember them like touting for. Like
Yeah, I mean, you had Eric LaSalle, you had
Joanna Margolis was on that.
Art Margolis, you had and then you had all of these
Co-star, like guest stars.
like guest stars, and multiple Emmys from this.
Well, it was so revolutionary. It was very, very
Oh.
different than anything that was on television at the time.
it's very
It was gra-
technical.
It
Yeah,
was graphic and
Yeah.
it was technical and it was a very cool show.
great show. Great show. All right, we are at our number 1 shows. Calvin.
And over an hour.
Well, it's amazing when we sit there and go, "Oh shit, we're 45 minutes in. All right, let's speed it up." Perhaps we should start that way
yeah,
so we
maybe.
can talk longer about our favorite stuff.
Our number
As soon,
one.
as, soon as
Yeah.
you like push the record button, all right, and welcome to and then all right, guys. So we're 45 minutes in. Let's just get this thing going. At number
Yeah.
10, what do you got?
All right, number 1 there, Cal.
My number 1 is the big BMW. Boy Meets World.
Oh my
I-
goodness!
Boy Meets World.
Absolutely loved that show.
Boy Meets World is my favorite show of all time. I have probably watched that at least 6 or 7 times from start to finish.
Marky, you know who was in Boy Meets World?
There's
Vader.
a lot of people in Boy Meets World.
Vader.
Vader.
Vader was on Boy Meets
Yes.
World, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
Vader and Jake the
Uh-huh.
Snake.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness, that's right.
I mean, the ending episode
Oh,
with Feeny kills me. Kills me.
Oh.
When he says
Yeah.
class dismissed at the end.
Oh, and he says, "I love you all." Oh my
Yes.
God.
Kills. Oh look,
Yeah.
Giggles. He's
Oh,
tearing
they
up.
took the glasses off and everything. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
show. It is.
Mhm.
It is. Yes.
And when so my favorite episode is with Eric, and he comes back. They do the future one. And he comes back, and he's got the the beard. He's got the long ass beard. He goes, I have a niche. No, you have a niece. And he goes, this is a compendium of all my knowledge. Eric, this is 3,000 pages. No, this is 2,000 blank pages and one page with one line on it. Oh, it's just hilarious. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Good God.
Show ever. Yeah.
Brian, what's your number
my
one?
number one, I just recently started rewatching it again, is a show that kind of started the big movement for a certain company. You had another show that was designed for the women, but this one was designed for the boys. It was on HBO, and this is The Sopranos. My all-time favorite show. The worst ending ever in any TV show ever. It cost my grandmother the remote control to her digital cable box because I smashed it against the wall. I hate that Journey
the
song.
least expected ending in
I will
history.
not listen to Don't Stop Believing now. I don't like it anymore.
Don't stop
It
believing.
it just
Hold
on to that feeling.
Like, I
Wait.
understand the ending. They've gone down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole of what it
Oh,
all
yeah.
means, but at that moment, when everything just went to black, you had no
Yeah.
idea what the hell was going on.
No.
it kind of, the way it was shot and the way it was narrated and the way you looked at Tony and you hated him and you liked him and you hated him and you liked him, and there's nothing else like it. And I'm rewatching it now and I'm like, there was nothing else like it. And now it's more fun to watch because the first episode's back in 1999. So like you look at the internet where they're pulling up stuff and it's like, oh my God, and the cars and the everything else, and you're just like, Jesus. But it's just
The old
it
flip
holds up
phones and
today.
shit.
Yeah, no, like his phone is a flip phone. Like he buys he goes, Ma, I got it's a new DVD player for you. It's like, holy shit, those were new then. Like,
Yep.
Wow. They're talking about Laserdisc and how Laserdiscs were better. Like, holy shit.
Hockey, what's your number one?
My favorite show of all time, whether you know it or you don't know it, now you do. I am a very diehard Trekkie. I've been to conventions. I own, well, at least I used to own uniforms. I own all the pins and all the different things. Like, it's almost unhealthy at some point. I went to Hawaii when I was 13, and instead of going to a beach where there was beautiful scenery and half-naked women everywhere, no, I went to a Star Trek convention at 13 years old when I was in Hawaii. It is Star Trek: The Next Generation. It completely engulfed me when I was a kid. I understood it. My father used to watch the old episodes, loved old Star Trek, and then when it was new, he was like, this is stupid, I don't like it, which made me instantly like it and want to watch it more.
Yeah.
We did the same thing with wrestling. My father hated wrestling. I used to get yelled at when I would watch wrestling, so of course I watched wrestling even more. But no, Star Trek: Next Generation, it led me down. I have all the models of the ships at my house. Like, I love this shit. My wife is a saint for dealing with this. Let's put it that way.
I'm a Star Wars guy, so I know how you feel.
Right. I like wars. It's not that I don't like Star Wars, but I love Trek.
I'm the exact opposite. I understand Star Trek and I like it and I'm willing to watch it, and I really need to sit down and watch Next Generation because I never have. I've seen the movies. That's my thing of Star Trek.
I always
and not
loved
the
it
new
more
ones.
because
I've seen the old ones.
the old ones. Don't watch the new ones. The new ones are junk unless you've never seen
I liked
Star
First
Trek before.
Contact. First Contact was my favorite.
I always liked it most because it seemed to have a literal, realistic view of the future. They weren't, and like Star Wars to me seemed very fantasy oriented. I liked more reality based, and Star Trek seemed to be much more reality based. It just gravitated me at it.
I was a
You should've
Battlestar
seen-
Galactica guy too.
That was a good show too. That was a very good show, but that had a little bit more of a pessimistic view of the future, as opposed to Star Trek's very optimistic view of the future. Like, we got it all out with World War III, and then all of a sudden everybody just loved each other. All of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Not in
that's me.
Battlestar.
Mr.
Timothy.
Matero,
You're number one.
last but not least,
My number one.
The most watched finale in history.
So I have watched every episode of MASH about 42 times each. That is my first official remote dropper type show. I refuse to watch the ending unless I'm alone, because I will absolutely 100% cry like a blubbering schoolboy who just got dumped for the very first time. It is the funniest yet saddest show I've ever seen. It is extremely well written from beginning to end.
It is good. It is.
And they really they put a spin on a subject that's really difficult to put a spin on.
Fact.
Yeah.
And that like the things are like Klinger was only supposed to be for one episode.
Yeah.
He was only supposed to be on one episode.
Yeah.
And they liked him so much, they wrote him into the script.
You know what's funny about Klinger? Where Fox is technically owned by Disney now, Klinger is a Disney princess.
Yes. Yeah. And I actually saw Jamie Farr on Broadway. When I went and saw Guys and Dolls on Broadway, he was in.
Oh,
he was
good
in
show to see on Broadway.
Yeah, the dude can sing. He can act. He can sing. Alan Alda's tremendous in all the parts that he does. The acting, the directing.
He's just a
producing.
tremendous actor. Anyway,
Yes.
He was on for a long time too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, you can't not talk about the ending of that show. It is.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen the show or the ending?
I've seen bits and pieces of the show. Like I've watched the first season.
Yeah, it is much
favorite
different.
show,
From season 1 to the end is much different. Number one, it took the Korean War only lasted like 2.5 to 3 years. And this was a show about the Korean War that lasted 11 years. So the show lasted like 3.5 times longer than the actual war did itself. Right. But the ending, if you have a vested interest in this show, and the millions of people that watch this ending, and I forget now if it was something like 200 something million people.
Yeah, I think so.
It was like stupid numbers.
No, I've started watching it, and I've started watching Cheers, and I watched 3-4 episodes, and I'm like, oh, what else is not? And I don't purposely move away from it. It's just like, oh, this is on, I'll watch this, and then I just never get back.
Well, and that's how I've been with Breaking Bad and Dexter and Ozark and The West Wing, all of those shows. But that was my number one show of all time.
106
What's your favorite guilty
people.
pleasure show? Real quick, we're talking TV shows. All-time favorite guilty pleasure show.
I don't know.
Guilty pleasure show.
I'll start. RuPaul's Drag Race. That show's awesome.
I don't really.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
That's
Melissa
not
got
really.
me watch. Yeah, but I'm not really into.
I love diners, drives-in.
That's like the only show I would really watch.
Angie and I actually took the boys when we were in Boston, and we went to a place that was on diners. I think it was on the diners, drive-ins, and dives. Eagles Deli, outside of Boston College.
Been there.
They're one of those places where
I did the breakfast.
I did too, but if you get the burger and you eat it in X amount of time, you get your name on the wall, and they go up another half a pound. But you got it right now. Yeah. The last time we were there, it was 6.5 pound burger.
Jesus Christ.
With cheese, 6.5 pounds of fries, and soda.
Cool. You have an hour.
And if you don't have a heart attack, you
I just had one.
Yeah,
no shit.
I don't know.
That puts the headhunter to shame.
Yeah, I don't know if I really have a guilty pleasure type show.
Right now, right now it's too hot to handle. I'm watching that on Netflix.
Like Pleasure Island, The Bachelor.
I don't watch any of
shit
those.
like that.
No,
I
don't
can't
either.
stand them. Can't stand them.
Survivor might be yours. Some people consider reality TV
Maybe.
like
You know
guilty
what?
pleasure.
I hated Jersey Shore forever, and then Angie, I finally agreed to watch season 1
That
with
show
her.
qualifies. That Jersey
I,
Shore
fi-
definitely
I
qualifies.
finally watched season 1, and I was like, damn, I actually liked it. And so we've started watching season 2. Yeah. I can tell you some of my, briefly here, because we're an hour and 15 minutes in, so we're going to wrap this up real quick here.
Yeah.
Some of my, honorable mentions that I had on here, some of the older ones would have been like Magnum PI, Dallas, Chips. I had Night Court, Family Ties, Happy Days.
Oh, Night Court. That bailiff guy just passed away. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
The guy that played the bailiff on that show. God.
Bull. Yeah.
No, it wasn't Bull. One of the other bailiffs, one of the other guys.
I don't know, but it had Harry Anderson, who was your judge. You had John Larroquette was the prosecutor.
I got a couple honorable mentions real quick. Nurse Jackie, In Living Color, Weeds, and Breaking Bad.
In Living Color. Oh my God, I remember that
Weeds
show.
was good. I like
Weeds is so good.
I have the set.
There was another good one on Showtime TV. I think it was Shameless.
Yes.
Yes, I have
Kelly
Shameless.
loves Shameless.
Great show.
So-
That was such a good show.
That
Bef-
70s show.
Yes, that was the other one that I couldn't remember that I almost put on. I will say there is one Canadian show that I really, really like.
How are you now?
Schitt's Creek.
Oh, well,
Trailer
yeah,
Park
I
Boys.
do like that
Schitt's
show.
Creek is good.
Cardinal.
Oh,
Never
I
watched
thought
it.
you meant how are you now? Not so bad. You? Not so
Oh,
bad.
Letterkenny? Yeah, I like Letterkenny.
Mm.
You, Calvin, you've never heard of Cardinal?
No.
Oh, man, it's a really good show. It's a guy who's a homicide detective.
A homicide?
Homicide.
Homicide? Freud, what's wrong? So, folks.
So
we're
anyway,
gonna
thank
wrap
you for
this up.
watching Ripping the Rack podcast for this evening. We're gonna wrap up this menagerie.
As
that Mr.
always,
Hell
please
just had.
direct your please direct your complaints, your concerns, everything to rippingtherack@gmail.com. You can
And
find
we
us
lost
on
him.
Facebook at Ripping the Rack. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Ripping the Rack Podcast. Brian, where else can they hear us? Well, they can hear us on Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Marky. They're going to check us out on Sunday nights over on Twitch.
They should definitely check us out on the Johnny Death Drop channel where we do the Dudes and Belts Wrestling Chatcast, the Coastal Crusader, and myself, Marky Pins, along with a few of our other buddies, while these guys are pissing their pants and laughing.
Yeah. Don't forget Tuesday on Ripping the Rack, our Tuesday morning show. We have Jill Wood.
Yes, we will have.
It's going to be a
young
special
Jill Wood
guest.
on the show. We're gonna have a special guest star on the show. Look forward to that. Please join us.
Yeah. Tim, Calvin, is there anything else that you would like to add to the closing
there
of the
anything-
show?
Anything that you guys can add? Anything?
I can't even.
Well, I think that's it for tonight. Good show, boys. Thanks for.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
God, I'm going to turn this off.
Tim,
Homicide. Homicide. I meant a homicide.
click the friggin' button. Just end the show before you destroy it. Just do it.
Stupid.